This has been yet another train derailment in the state of Uttar Pradesh. 10 coaches of the Delhi Azamgarh Kaifiyat Express derailed near Auraiya district in Uttar Pradesh. This was in the pitch of the night. The accident took place at around 2:50 a.m., injuring over 70 people, 74 on record so far. According to the railway officials, the derailment happened due to a collision between the train and a dumper. The Railways Minister Suresh Prabhu tweeted about this mishap, saying that he's personally monitoring the situation.
Another accident exposes the serious lapse in the security system of the railways, and here you see a train was travelling on the tracks and it was hit. In fact, it collided with a dumper coming from opposite direction, and as a result we saw a massive accident with as many as 10 bogies being derailed and one overturning. So clearly, even as we speak, thankfully no casualty has been reported, but clearly as many as 40 to 50 travellers have been injured. Most of them have been shifted to the local hospitals, in fact the civil hospital in Auraiya. But then again, it raises serious questions on the efficiency and also on the working style of the railways, because even as we were awaiting the final report, the official report in the Muzaffarnagar accident, here you have once again people panicking, train going off tracks, and as many as 10 bogies derailing, and as a result we are seeing a massive destruction in the district of Auraiya.
कानपुर इटावा सेक्शन में खबर ये आ रही है कि एक डंपर था जो कि ईंट गारा वगैरह वर्क साइट पे डालता है, वो पटरी पे अचानक उलट गया और इससे इंजन टकरा गया। 10 कोचेस और इंजन इनके डिरेलमेंट की खबर है। किसी के मारे जाने की खबर नहीं है। जो घायल हैं उनको लोकल अस्पतालों में भेजा जा चुका है और अब साइट रिस्टोरेशन का काम होगा।
आज मध्य रात्रि को लगभग 2:40 पर 1225 आजमगढ़ पुरानी दिल्ली स्टेशन कैफियत एक्सप्रेस दुर्घटनाग्रस्त हुई है उत्तर प्रदेश के औरैया डिस्ट्रिक्ट में। तो इंजन और उसके साथ के 10 डिब्बे जो हैं डिरेल हो गए। अभी स्थिति ये है कि हमारे वहाँ पर जिला प्रशासन का अमला एक्टिव हो गया है। रेलवे के वरिष्ठ अधिकारी इलाहाबाद डिवीजन से रवाना हो गए हैं। कानपुर इटावा में हमारा जो रेलवे का स्टाफ है उसको पहले ही रवाना कर दिया है और ये औरैया डिस्ट्रिक्ट का जिला प्रशासन वहाँ है। एम्बुलेंसेस पहुँच गई हैं, घायलों को निकाला भी जा रहा है। अभी कोई भी कैजुअल्टी की, डेथ की खबर नहीं है।
And what has been called a historic landmark judgment for the country, bringing in reforms for Muslim women in India. The Supreme Court has barred the practice of the instant triple talaq. This is being seen as landmark because from now onwards, instant triple talaq is illegal across the country. In fact, Prime Minister Modi was quick to send in a tweet on this, hailed the Supreme Court judgment, calling it historic, saying that the move would give equal rights to Muslim women and in turn also ensure empowerment. But this is what took place in the courtroom. After reading separate judgments, the bench ruled in a 3:2 majority of total of 5-member bench, and saying that triple talaq was void, illegal, against the Sharia as well, and of course unconstitutional. The Supreme Court said here that triple talaq violates the fundamental rights of Muslim women as it irrevocably ends the marriage without any chance of a reconciliation. The apex court there also referred to this very abolition of this brutal practice in other Islamic countries, asking why can't India do away with this social ill?
The Supreme Court puts an end to the instant talaq, talaq, talaq. In a historic judgment presided over by a 5-member bench, 3 judges passed the judgment against the practice, while 2 judges, including Chief Justice of India J.S. Kehar, backed it.
In a landmark 395-page ruling, the Supreme Court today, by way of majority opinion of 3:2, has struck down the instant form of pronouncement of talaq without any gap as being unconstitutional.
Hailed as a historic and progressive move for India, what this essentially means is that now Muslim men will not be able to instantly divorce their wives. Cases of talaq over WhatsApp messages and phone calls had become common and controversial before this landmark judgment.
The result of judgment is generally a very good result for women, for society, for our country and for the future of our children. I think it's a very, very good judgment. We should welcome it.
While the majority of the members of the Muslim Personal Law Board have welcomed the verdict, there are a handful of Muslim clerics who say that the judgment is unfair and intrusive.
ये शरीयत का मामला है, ना ये पार्लियामेंट का मामला है और ना ही ये कोर्ट का मामला है। इसमें मेरी राय ये है कि जो धर्म के, इस्लाम धर्म के ऑथेंटिक लोग हैं, उनसे बैठ करके, उनको बुला करके, उन लोगों से बात करके, उसके हिसाब से ट्रिपल तलाक का जो मामला है इस पर बात हो, ये बेहतर होगा।
But to young women across India, the verdict symbolizes a victory over patriarchal practices.
बॉयज आके गुस्से में बोल देते कि तलाक तलाक तलाक, फिर बाद में लड़की की जिंदगी खराब होती ना।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट अपने लिए अपने हिसाब से सही फैसला की हुई है, लेकिन हमारा एक कल्चर, हम मुस्लिम हैं और इस्लाम अपना एक अलग कानून रखा है जो कुरान और हदीस की रोशनी में बना है। हमारे हुजूर ने, हमारे नबी ने जो कह के गए हैं, जो सही कह के गए हो।
Mirror now also welcomes the historic verdict pronounced by the Apex Court. We welcome the verdict that could usher in a new India that empowers and emboldens women and lays the basis for a more equal and inclusive society. Mirror Now report.
And the fight against triple talaq reached Supreme Court because of several aggrieved parties, women who were victim of this practice. One of them being Shaira Bano, who had approached the Apex Court in the year 2016 when her husband handed her triple talaq via telegram. Her battle found resonance with several other Muslim women who took to legal recourse to end this injustice eventually.
मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है, अपने गवर्नमेंट से बहुत उम्मीद है कि जो भी कानून बनेगा बहुत ही अच्छा कानून बनेगा, मुस्लिम महिलाओं के लिए बहुत ही अच्छी है और मुझे बहुत ही अंदर से खुशी महसूस हो रही है और मैं बहुत ही शुक्रगुजार हूँ जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो लॉयर्स, जजेस थे, जिन्होंने मेरा इतना सपोर्ट किया।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो फैसला आया है उससे मैं खुश हूँ और मेरी जैसे जितनी भी औरतें हैं, मैं चाहती हूँ सभी को इंसाफ मिले, सभी को जीने का हक मिले।
मेरी 25 मार्च 2012 में शादी हुई थी। उसके बाद मैंने 2 बेटियों को जन्म दिया और बेटियां होने के कारण ही मुझे तलाक दे दिया गया, मारा पीटा गया, जहर भी दिया गया और इसी के अकॉर्डिंग उन्होंने मुझे मेरा बैंक में अकाउंट खुलवाया फर्जी और इस दबाव से किया कि मैं ये केस वापस ले लूँ यहाँ से।
And here's a listen in to some of the voices that have come in, senior voices that have come in from the legal fraternity.
It's a question of rights of women more than minority or majority. Yeah. A woman is an equal individual as opposed to a man. The constitution gives equal rights. So how can we have such a situation that you treat people as unequals?
इस कोर्ट की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हिस्ट्री में और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल जूरिस्प्रूडेंस की डेवलपमेंट में ये बहुत बड़ा कदम है। ऐसे मौके कोर्ट की हिस्ट्री में कभी आते हैं, तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा स्टेप है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेवलपमेंट में।
Ultimately, the judgment has upheld this existence of fundamental rights, ensured to citizens of this country for practicing their religion. So far as the government is concerned, I don't think that government may be required to bring any legislation.
In other news now, a special CBI court is to pronounce the verdict on rape charges against Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh on the 25th of August. But ahead of the verdict, this is the kind of build-up taking place. Central Armed Police Forces have been sanctioned for the district flag march in Sirsa, where the Dera Sacha Sauda chief and the headquarters are located. It's also taken out by the paramilitary personnel and the Haryana police. A stadium has been taken over by the police, which will be converted into a temporary jail, as over 20,000 supporters there have already reached in support of the Dera Sacha Sauda chief, Ram Rahim. The RAF, the Sashastra Seema Bal, have already been deployed in case of a violent outbreak. So these are preparations there that are currently underway. We have with us correspondent Vishak getting us further details here on this. We're already seeing how the build-up here is taking place, especially by the manner in which the Dera Sacha Sauda and its followers have managed to gather in huge numbers there.
See, already 50,000 people have really gathered at Panchkula Court nearby premises. Now, what we can tell you, already Section 144 has been imposed across Haryana and Punjab. Now, 100 companies of paramilitary forces in Haryana and 100 companies of paramilitary forces in Punjab have already been deployed. Now, there was certain talk that this basically a ploy by DERA to put pressure on the judiciary. Now, police has also released a letter which says that these DERA premies were gathering petrol bombs and sticks basically in case of any eventuality. But what's more important is that a large number of people have gathered here. The Panchkula School Association has already declared a holiday till 25th, saying that due to the security of the children, they don't want to take any chances. And already several major roads of Panchkula have been blocked by these DERA premies. What we can tell you is that the police, wherever they are stopping them, that they are sitting on the same part of the road and sitting there.
Right.
So the whole issue
Vishal,
right
these
now
of course
is
being a level of preparedness of the police, of course, to be prepared for in case of an untoward activity, for the manner in which people, supporters have been gathering in large numbers. But what of the inconvenience? There's also a vehicular movement ban that has been imposed, which is part of this preparedness. The inconvenience to the people living in the area.
The people of the Panchkula, Chandigarh have to bear it. That is what the police is saying. Because the eventuality is that large number of DERA have gathered across the area of Panchkula. Although on paper it is Section 144 has been imposed, which means that no people can gather in more than number of 4. But 50,000 people have gathered here, and the rough estimates are that on the day of the decision, that is 25th, 10 lakh people are expected to be in Panchkula. So that is a huge number. Absolutely. And be a big nightmare not only for the police administration but for the local public, where they're facing a lot of problems. Schools have been shut down, and the vehicular traffic is...
Vishal, let's also very quickly please revisit the case, the kind of charges that the DERA Sacha Sauda chief has been facing in this. What the supporters, of course, all along have been saying, that these are trumped up charges, these are motivated charges against him. But help us understand the details of this case here.
See, I have been covering this trial for the last 10 years. I can tell you one thing, that both the witness, every witness has stood their ground in the court of law. So both the victims have given their statement in under Section 164 before the magistrate, and they stood their ground during the cross-examination. And that is an area of concern for the DERA chief, because no witness has turned off. And the witnesses have stood their ground. There could be trouble for DERA, but we cannot really speculate upon the judgment. But indeed, fearing that is why you're seeing such kind of preparedness by the DERA and the administration.
That's a significant point being noted by you, Vishal, given the fact that both the witnesses in this case have stood their ground, none turning hostile, in a case that has dragged on for the past decade here. Vishal, thank you for those inputs. Now, in yet another shocking incident, 2 girls were attacked with acid in the Bareilly city of Uttar Pradesh. A group of 4 men allegedly barged into the house, threw acid at the 15-year-old and her 16-year-old sister, who was sleeping in their own courtyard. One of the victims' brother, who spotted the intruders here, tried to stop them. He was also attacked. The victims are battling for life as we speak in a hospital nearby, and a case has been registered against 4 perpetrators there.
ये थाना नवाबगंज में टांडा सादात गांव है, वहाँ की घटना है। रात में लगभग 3 बजे के आसपास की घटना है। इसमें 2 बहनों पर तेज़ाब डालने की घटना कारित की गई है। इसमें हम लोग इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं। इसके फादर ने आरोप लगाया है गांव के ही 4 लोगों पे, भूरा और अन्य 3 है उसमें, जो उसके भाई और बेटा और साला है, उन लोगों पर आरोप लगाया है। हम लोगों ने भूरा को अरेस्ट कर लिया है, उससे पूछताछ जारी है, पूछताछ के लिए हिरासत में लिया है। और अन्य जो जिसके बारे में बता रहे हैं, फादर क्लियर कट बता रहा है कि मैंने देखा था इन 4 को, लेकिन सत्यता का पता लगाने के लिए हम लोग इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं कि वास्तविक में सत्यता क्या है, क्योंकि इसके भाई के भी हाथ जले हुए हैं, बहनों के जो भाई है उसका भी हाथ जले हैं, और एक छोटा बच्चा है उसके भी छींटे थोड़े बहुत पड़े हैं। हम लोग इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रहे हैं, FIR दर्ज करके, और केस को वर्कआउट जल्द ही कर लेंगे।
मेरी लड़की सो रही थी आंगन में, इनने ठेकेदार डाल दिया 4 आदमियों ने। और जब भागे तब मैंने पहचान लिया, रंजन नहीं थी, ये गुंडे हैं, मानी होगी, ये पैसे मांगते हैं। परसों शाम मुझसे बोला 500 रुपये दे, मेरे पास आप थे ना, तो बोले जाओ देखेंगे जे होगा।
In Mumbai, a brother-sister duo who were charged with robbery have been arrested on the 22nd of August, just yesterday, in the Nakabandi by the Amboli police. The latest target, though, of these robbers was the house of an ATS officer in Mumbai's Baikula. The police have recovered a 9mm and 300 grams of gold that they had stolen. The duo have a past criminal record there as well of having broken into around 18 homes before this. Quite a track record that they hold there. The police is currently investigating into the matter. Let's get in further inputs. We have with us our correspondent Richa with those details. Richa, one would really look at this as a daring act for having decided to break into an ATS officer's house this time around. But nevertheless, this has been a significant update for the police on this.
That's right. These brother and sister duo who have a criminal history record of breaking into people's houses, and as you just said, 18 houses, specifically the sister in this concern, she has been arrested, and her name is Gurpreet Kuljeet Singh, and they both have been taken into the custody for having broken into this ATS officer's house and also stealing one 9mm pistol plus 27 rounds of bullets, and it is to be noted that it was a government service pistol, and also 300 grams of gold ornaments have also been recovered from them, and they had stolen this from the Dockyard Police Colony, which all has been captured on a CCTV footage while they were entering in and out of the police stations and their home, because they were away in the village while all this had happened. And so far the Amboli police station are also trying to find out if they had in the recent past made any other targets similar to this when it specifically comes to police authorities.
Right, but not just the police authorities whose houses have been robbed. There have been other victims here, understandably, of course, as well, given the fact that they've done this in a similar manner in 18 other homes.
Yes, that's right. Specifically, this 23-year-old sister by the name of Gurpreet is the one who had broken into houses of various homes across the city of Mumbai, and this time they made the target of this ATS officer, and this is a big number if we see specifically to this sister in concern, and where the police accidentally made her or captured her while in a Nakabandi in the Andheri area of Mumbai, and where she very carelessly was going around keeping her stolen items on the back seat of her car. That's how the police got a whiff of this whole matter, and she was arrested.
The brazen manner in which they've been conducting their robberies, even if we look at the CCTV footage, the manner in which is just casually strolling across a clear sign that they were fully confident that they would never be caught, but not so, having both been arrested by the police. Richa, thank you for those updates. Let's also get in a quick response here that we've gotten from the police.
In the limits of Baikala police station on 37/17, a housebreaking and theft was reported in the police lines, in which from the house of a serving police naik, he's serving in ATS Mumbai, Mr. Nilesh Mohite, a service pistol and 30 rounds and some gold ornaments were stolen. That case has been detected by the Amboli police station. 2 people have been arrested. The service pistol and 27 rounds have been recovered, and 300 grams of gold ornaments have also been recovered. They are suspected to be a part of larger gang of housebreakers, and our interrogations in this regard are going on.
Now, there's been another major breakthrough by the Amboli police. A 27-year-old man was caught on the 21st of August with possession of 1 kilogram MD drugs. The accused has a history of drug peddling. Police investigations that are currently underway.
As part of the anti-drug selling campaign which has been launched, they have arrested a person in front of City Mall, Andheri West. 1 kilogram of MD powder has been recovered from that person. The name of the person is one Nadeem Nasir Sheikh, aged 27 years. He is a resident of Gaundayu Dongar, from where he has procured the drugs and where he was supplying the drugs. That's a subject matter of interrogation. We have arrested him, and a relevant case under the sections of NDPS Act has been registered.
An update here coming in on the Ghatkopar Mumbai building collapse case. Some breather for the victims here because the Sessions Court has rejected the bail pleas of both the accused here, Sunil Shatap and Anil Mandal, the two accused here of corruption and negligence that eventually led to the collapse of the Sai Siddhi building, which was clearly established as a stable structure, collapsing only because of the changes that were underway on the ground floor. We should remember here that your channel Mirror Now, that is consistently reported through the day, getting you updates on investigations or what the investigation report has revealed here, that it was primarily because of the structural changes that were made, given a go-ahead by the Shiv Sena worker Sunil Shatap on the ground floor of the building, doing away with two structural beams there that eventually led to the collapse. The two accused there, however, tried to pin the blame on Ranjit Agale, the architect who was in charge of this construction.
आज एटलीस्ट कुछ रिलीफ आपको लग रहा है, क्योंकि आज सेशंस कोर्ट ने जो सुनील शताप और उसके जो को अक्यूज्ड है अनिल मंडल, उन दोनों के आज बेल एप्लीकेशन रिजेक्ट की है. आपको इसके बारे में अभी क्या कहना है?
देखिए, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो आज जहाँ पे कोर्ट में हुआ था, आर्गूमेंट्स तो हुई उनकी, और आज के दिन तो वो लोगों ने जो बेल था, एप्लीकेशन बेल, वो तो रिजेक्ट कर दिया हुआ है. अभी फिर से 24 को किया है. बट मेरी एक ही दरख्वास्त है सरकार से कि इस बंदे के ऊपर, चाहे किसके जो भी है, आर्किटेक्चर है कि डिज़ाइनर है, इन सबको बेल नहीं मिलनी चाहिए. जहाँ से अभी बीएमसी के रिपोर्ट्स है वो सब चीज़ें आने हैं, वो आए हुए. और यहाँ पर ऐसा नहीं है कि बिल्डिंग धीरे धीरे टूटी है, विद इन 30 सेकेंड्स के अंदर बिल्डिंग कोलैप्स हुई है. तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि इस बंदे को तो शायद ही बेल मिलनी चाहिए, और हो सके तो बेल के ऊपर भी इसका जो 304 बी लगा है वो 302 पे हो जाना चाहिए.
Now, in a shocking incident that's coming from the national capital, New Delhi, a businessman was shot dead by bike-borne assailants in Ashok Vihar area. The man who was parking his bike while returning from work when two men on a bike tried to snatch his bag and run away. On revolting on that, he was shot at by the assailants.
यहाँ पर एक बिजनेसमैन है, वो अपनी स्कूटी पे अपने घर से ऑफिस से यहाँ पर आए हैं. तो जैसे उन्होंने अपनी बाइक अपने घर के बाहर खड़ी करी है, तो दो मोटरसाइकिलें दोनों साइड से आई हैं. तो उस पर दो आदमी बैठे हुए थे. उन्होंने उनका बैग छीनने की कोशिश करी है. जब उन्होंने मना करा या कोई प्रतिरोध करा तो उनके ऊपर गोलियां चलाई हैं.
अभी कोई 8:30 के करीब हमारे ब्लॉक में हमारे जो निवासी बहुत पुराने थे, संजीव जी, उनको गोली मार के कुछ लोगों ने रॉबरी करी है उनके साथ. जो सुनने में आया कि बैग था उनका लेके भागे हैं, और 8:30 बजे की घटना है.
Now, the Apex Court has refused to exempt the Tamil Nadu from the National Eligibility and Entrance Test, which is popularly known as NEET, for admissions to medical colleges. The Apex Court has stated here that NEET is the only basis for admission to medical colleges across the country. The state health officials here are finally planning to begin the medical counselling on this front. Our correspondent Shweta with those details.
Supreme Court has asked Tamil Nadu to follow NEET for counselling process here in Tamil Nadu. The medical counselling is also to begin, and tomorrow the merit list will be released, and on 24th the counselling process is all set to begin. Students on one hand though are feeling happy about it. There are students from the state board and there are students who have done well in their +2 examinations. They feel that the government and the authorities concerned have let them down, and they also feel that they have completely failed its own students. Students here have said that rather than focusing upon getting an exemption from NEET, the authorities concerned should have rather taken the focus upon improvising the quality of education when it comes to the state board syllabus. In Chennai, Shweta for Mirror Now.
I'm very happy with the outcome of the Supreme Court order. Supreme Court has stated that NEET is the only way to get into medical colleges, and in fact one of the submission made by the central government is that they cannot give exemption only for the state of Tamil Nadu. They want to maintain uniformity for all the states, and by this way the Supreme Court has given the justice, delivered the justice for the hard-working students, irrespective of the boards in which they are from. So absolutely I wouldn't say it is the board that matters, it is the way that the people were taught and given the coaching.
Certainly, significant order there for a uniform process that needs to be followed. With that, it is a wrap on the show. But don't go away. News and updates continue right here.